Hello and welcome to this episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by Daniel.
Hello.
And Randy.
Hey.
Two of my favorite people here at Atlanta Brick Co. It's good to see you guys.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Thank you for joining me. This is a fun continuation of one of our most popular and enjoyable video series, I think. Mm-hmm. It's Rare Parts.
Yes.
So, now, Daniel, you've been on a Rare Parts video a time or two before.
I think I've done maybe 2 of these before, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, Randy, have you been on one
First
of these?
time.
Wow.
First time.
Okay.
I'm very excited.
There we go. And you've been on Between the Studs. You're pretty much familiar with the format, sort of. This is going to be the same as usual with a slight twist we'll introduce later. But we've each picked out, I think, about 6 rare parts. And we're going to present them to each other and talk about them. And hopefully surprise you guys with some that we discovered. Mm-hmm. Some of these I did not know were Lego. And I actually repeatedly forgot that it was, in fact, Lego. And tried to throw it away. And I'm like, wait, no. Yeah. Like multiple times. It'll be funny. But who wants to go first?
Oh, I don't know. Why don't you want to just kick us off?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We'll go down the road.
I think it goes from right to left on the video if I go first, but it's fine. You know, we can be a little backwards.
Oh, youngest to, I was going to say youngest to oldest situation.
I got some cool pieces to show.
Now, I will say about this one, this is a little bit more of a visual kind of thing. So if you're one of our podcast listeners, maybe consider checking us out on YouTube for this one if you want to see what we're talking about.
Precisely. Now, we'll try and describe them as best as possible. The sets they came in, even the parts numbers sometimes. I don't have part numbers, but I do have all the names and stuff, so it should be pretty clear. The first part that I'm going to start with is one that I've seen before. I know where it's from. It's kind of rare because it only came in one set, and that set was only released in 1982. Yes. So a long time ago, and it's from a very collectible set. This is from the, I think it's the Mobile Rocket Transport, I believe.
Okay.
And it's classic space, and it also came in one supplemental set, so kind of half a set technically.
Yeah.
Those were not that commonly bought back in the 80s. But it's the inverted slope, 33 degrees, 5x6x2. And it's not technically a windscreen, although it only comes in transparent colors, and it's used as a windscreen, so it could have been called a windscreen, but it's not on Bricklink, so we're calling it a slope.
We're calling it, okay.
This is trans yellow. It's not super valuable. A used one like this one's a little bit scratched because it's clearly seen some exploration time.
Yeah.
It's $5 for used one, maybe up to $12 or $15 for a really good condition one. But it's a weird piece. Have you guys ever seen this piece? And what would you use it for in a mock if you had a couple of these lying around?
I've probably seen this in the wild a few times, but I always love like transparent windshields and things that are inverted slopes. Mm-hmm. You see them a lot on like the undersides of Rovers. There was a police station I had as a kid that had kind of a lookout tower, so I could see using this as some sort of guard tower window or something, because that inverted slope lends itself to being high up so that you get like a downward aerial view, so it could be part of a space base or something that's up high. But yeah, I think Lego only ever used this in the context of vehicles.
Yeah, I love that concept of being an outpost lookout window. Yeah. If you're looking down, a flat window actually isn't super helpful.
Or something.
Having that inverted angle is nice. But Randy, have you ever seen this piece before?
I have not. I feel like it's in really good shape for being 2 years younger than me.
It's still totally functional.
Oh man.
That puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
That's my
Randy,
connection
I think
to
you're
it.
in pretty good shape.
Thanks.
Too.
Randy, you're doing great.
I got a few scratches too, but we're still going.
Still functional. Everything's still good. Okay. But yeah, this is a fun piece. I think I have like 1 or 2 of these in my collection. Yeah. Not enough to do anything super like expansive with or practical, but maybe Lego will come back out with a very steeply sloped inverted windscreen.
I like it. Yeah. You know what I feel like I want to use it for is like in a space scene where it's like somebody with gloves going in, like looking through it, and they're building like something, you know, like it's the protective cover that you're.
Yeah, so you're looking into something.
Yeah, there's somebody in there fiddling around with stuff you can't.
I like that. Yeah, I could see that totally. Yeah, like the
little alien baby under there. Yeah, like something like that. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw it.
Some of those sci-fi movies with that kind. Zombie breakout.
There's some specific movie I'm thinking of where they were doing something in one of those.
Right, I feel like it's like
Space Station.
Yeah, one of those types of things. Yeah,
I like
my kind of genre.
Some disease or pathogen or something.
What's it called? Parasite? There was a movie like that. We're all thinking of the same thing.
Species, something like that. One of those kinds of,
Well, a fun first part. Some unique uses, too. And that's the twist, is we're basically going to ask each of us what we would do with the part besides what it was originally purposed for, even though it might be similar. I mean, we all thought of sci-fi when we thought of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What you got, Danielle? What's your first piece?
Right, let's start with this one. This is a Bionicle piece that was not used in the context of Bionicle, which I think is always interesting when you see Bionicle parts sort of penetrating the system set.
It's always a good day.
Yeah. So this is the Dark Orange Bionicle Weapon Shield with Gear Tips, part 44938. This came out in 2004, and this was used, of all things, in a Millennium Falcon Star Wars set as the hyperdrive engine, I believe, I guess. It was sort of in the back center. So very interesting use just to get a lot of detail kind of in a system set. But there were not a lot of detailed system parts back in 2004. Not crazy expensive. If you want to get one of these, it's maybe $5 to $10. So it was kind of a rare part from that set and definitely an unusual instance of a part in that set. But I just love it as a good way to add some greebly details to anything.
Yeah, the texture and the amount of different angles on that piece is astounding. It's really detailed design for sure.
Yep.
So. Now, Randy, have you seen this piece before?
I have not. I'm like super interested in this piece. I was like, that's really cool. I have not seen that before.
Now, I've seen that in two different ways. First of all, I remember seeing the Bionicle sets that this piece came out. I think it was originally in silver.
Yeah.
And having this in dark orange is a very unique color choice, too.
Yeah.
But I also remember I had some friends who had this exact Millennium Falcon that you're talking about. I remember seeing that piece. I'm like, that's a cool engine.
That's super cool.
This blew my mind as a kid. I also had a friend that had this Millennium Falcon set, and I was like, wow, that's a cool piece. What is that?
Yeah, exactly. It was the coolest part of the ship, which is already a cool set.
Right.
Yeah, because it's so in contrast to everything else.
Yeah.
So
really cool piece.
Yep.
And not too expensive if you need one or two or three.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. What
neat.
would you use that for, Mark?
Oh, golly. Well, so I've been building a lot of rock raiders the past year and a half. So I would think that its original purpose, I think, was for the stone-related Borak cowl.
Okay.
So it would be kind of like a drilling or grinding mechanism to kind of get through rock or stone or something. Yeah. So I'd get probably two of them and put them on a little, like a forklift-sized vehicle. Yeah. That's what I would do. But what do you think, Randy? What would you use that for? Maybe like a blender of some kind?
I thought of like clay, like somebody making some sort of scene, like they're making something out of it. Clay, either that or like, I don't know, add some trees or something, or little bush pieces or something like that to make it botanical.
So you're thinking of more like earthy color.
More earthy, it gives
color.
me that like terracotta, kind of like somebody somewhere working on it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm seeing these little things as either like tops of like lamps or like heaters or something. I'm thinking almost like the egg incubator from Jurassic Park or something like that with these little pods or lamps or heaters or something.
New Hashima, maybe?
All of these rare parts I could use a New Hashima, Mark. You know that.
That's the fun part about that collab that Daniel does. Almost any piece can go in that context, the cyberpunk futuristic looking. For sure. So very cool, Daniel. Yeah.
I like it.
All right, Randy, what do you got?
All right, my first piece. I have this really cool medium green, which I love the color. Little Belleville Phone.
Ooh.
I rated some of the more girly type things just to see what I could find that was interesting. But I love this. I feel like I had this color phone when I was a kid at my house. You know?
Retro
I
color,
love it, right?
Kind of that mint.
Right? It came out from 94 to 96. And it's the least rare of my parts because technically it was in 5 sets. But they're just, I love it. I just think it's so cool. And I had not seen it anywhere before in this color or anything. And the old push button.
The dial button.
Right.
Yep.
It's in a lot of there's a couple hospital sets and a stable. I don't know why this would be in a stable, but
you need to call your ranch hand.
Your ranch hand, But I just thought, I love the color and I thought it was really a fun little
That's great.
piece that I haven't seen out a lot anywhere.
Well,
no, definitely not.
So Randy, I've never even seen those two pieces in that combination. I think I've maybe seen the telephone on its own, but that combination of the telephone unit itself is really cool.
And I love that it comes off and the little dolly can, hold it.
You could totally use that.
The little scary Belleville doll can make phone calls.
The dead-eyed Belleville doll. Yeah, oh dear.
With a really good tan.
At least those phones are more in scale for Belleville figures.
Yes.
They're like humongous.
Yeah, they wouldn't work with anything else. But I just thought, I love that. And you don't see that much medium green, so I just, it really stood out to me. So I thought that was fun.
All about the color there.
Yep. So what do you think? Well, I mean, I don't know what else you'd use this for, but I mean...
Well, you can use the handheld phone piece for lots of greebles and details and things. So having that in such a unique color, I think,
like a guardrail or a door handle.
Oh,
maybe.
yeah.
It's similar to a phone, but
It's such a great color.
That slope with the numbers, you could maybe do, I'm thinking like a ATM or something, possibly.
Yeah,
so.
there you go.
But yeah, it's interesting stuff for sure. And Belleville is one of those themes that almost any set, any piece is going to be weird and rare because it only
came in those, and they're just, I don't know, just something you don't see very often anymore.
A great choice, for sure.
I mean, it has an inherently kind of 80s aesthetic to it, not only because of the color, but also just because it's a desk phone.
Right,
anymore, but it doesn't even register anymore, right?
Yeah. You ask kids these days to gesture making a phone call, and they'll go like this.
They don't know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
How to call popcorn to see what the time is.
Popcorn,
That'll date me.
The sound of the tone. The time will be.
I never did that as a kid.
You never did that?
We talked about this, but this is the second time this has come up on our channel, and I don't know why.
Reminds me of.
I needed to prank call more people when I was a kid. I never did. So
we were at the mall. We'd call collect.
Star 67.
Right. You call collect at your house, ready to be picked up. The roller skating rink. Yeah,
good job.
Good first piece, Rain.
Thank you.
A couple of interesting uses for a very specific piece.
Right. Yeah.
So, very fun. All right. Circling back to me. All right. I've got something which is interesting. I wouldn't have really figured out where this piece is from, although I had a few ideas. This is the Lurp, Little Ugly Rock piece. The acronym for that. It's marbled white / sky blue. There's another one that's very similar. This marbled white / aqua, which is similar. But this piece, I'm not going to tell you the year, but do either of you know off the top of your head what set this is from?
I believe I do, but I'll let Randy venture a guess.
I do not know what I'm trying to think. Some sort of ice something or another.
I wouldn't have initially guessed either because there's a couple options.
Yeah.
This actually came out in 2007 from set number 7666, the Hoth Rebel Base Limited Edition.
And
gotcha. I think, don't we have one of those right now?
We might have one right now because it came out like 2007.
I remember somebody talking about that set number recently.
Interesting set, very scary set number.
I'm surprised Lego let that.
But so this one came out in 2007. There was an earlier version of this kind of marbled mountain piece that had aqua. That was from Belleville, of course. That was from 2004. But this one was more interesting because sky blue is super rare, and it's Star Wars.
It's a very peculiar color. I mean, it looks most comparable now to maybe medium azure. But very unusual color.
I love marble pieces because each one is different. It's like a fingerprint. So this one's got a lot of really sharp lines in it. It looks really kind of weird. This one isn't as in great shape. It's kind of a little bit scuffed and beat up and maybe a little dirty, needs a wash. So in a used condition, this is like a $5 piece. If you're getting a new one, it's like about $10. That's kind of, most of my pieces are in that price range. But I think this is kind of specific to Arctic icy build. But does anything else stand out to you as what this could be used for?
Maybe building like a cloud or something.
Yeah.
You could almost, you'd have to add a lot to it, but you could use it as a base and you might get some of those unique marbling patterns kind of showing through.
Maybe like a micro-scale mountain background because of the colors, maybe? I don't know. It's
it's
pretty
hard
mountain
because,
piece.
Right?
It's hard because you always want to build onto rock pieces to sort of cover them up to make them look less obvious, but then you would lose the
cool
marbling pattern.
Yeah. That's, I think in the set even there was plenty of white on top of this to kind of blend it in. But it's interesting. So I think we could definitely stand for a few more marble pieces just because of how weird they look. So
that looks great.
I think Lego's leaned away from that.
We got some other ones in fantasy era mostly, I think.
And Indiana Jones.
And Indiana Jones.
Dark green and
gray.
That'd be fun to get enough of them, make a giant ice cream cone.
Now you're talking.
Right?
The volume.
With the marbling of it, like a cotton candy.
Find some sky blue bricks and mix them in there too. Yeah,
I feel like that'd look really cool.
That'd be like a Legoland build. Yeah, that sounds cool. See, there you go, Rain. That's awesome. Out of the box thinking. I like it.
Very good.
Alrighty, what do we got next, Daniel? What's on your list?
Oh gosh, let's move to this one. Let's go with Belleville Hat, woman's wide brim. Belleville parts always have strange naming conventions. So do the sets. Anyway, this is part 30217. This came out in 1998. This also appeared in both pink, the uncommon pink, and dark pink. Yellow was the most common of the three, but it's the one that we were able to find here. Sort of interesting. It's got a little place where you can stick a bow in the front. There's a little ribbon kind of molded in, hanging off the back. And I guess Belleville connections use a pinhole connection, which seems kind of small for their heads.
Like a plume pinhole.
Like a plume pin size, yeah. Which is interesting for the size of the hat. I guess they didn't want to do a stud or a bar connection because it would put a big unsightly hole in the top of the figure's head. But anyway, so this yellow one came in 3 Belleville sets. There are none of these currently available on Bricklink.
Wow.
But they have sold within the last 6 months for like less than $5. There was one for like 60 cents used and a new one for maybe $5.
Yeah, not expensive, but very rare.
Not expensive, but hard to find. That's usually the status quo for Belleville parts, unless it's something really wild. But something as particular as this that doesn't have a lot of great connection points is very specific and hard to use for something else. But let's see what you would use it for.
As soon as you said there's a attachment point on the bottom, I'm like, that could go on a medieval knight helmet and look ridiculous.
It would look ridiculous, yes. I thought we were talking about practical applications.
Knight of the broad brim hat.
And a bow.
That's my only. You also have the inkwell piece now, which you could put that and then attach it to things on the door, on a coat rack. So you could actually use this more now than you could in the past. So that's fun. Just because of that connection point that's still in use. But maybe a flying saucer from a distance? I don't know. It's pretty specific. But I love how rare this is. I never even knew this existed before. You pulled it out of the bin. I'm like, what the heck?
I'm pretty sure I pulled this out of the fake bin downstairs, which is where some of the best rare parts come from, is the stuff that that our sorters have selected to be thrown away, but that's why we always double check it, because sometimes that's where the rare stuff ends up.
It also doesn't say Lego inside of it. It has a set number and like a little copyright logo, but I don't see Lego in there. So
yeah, they weren't as good about that kind of stuff back then.
That would not help us identify it in the sorter.
Right.
I bet you, Randy, you got any
I want to put it on an animal.
On
an animal and make it fancy animal, you know? I don't know.
I'm vaguely remembering like a children's book that was like lots of animals like getting dressed up and wearing goofy hats.
Yeah.
It was like a porcupine wearing a shirt or something.
Is that Richard Scary's Busy World?
No, not that one.
It almost gives me like a Berenstein Bears kind of feel. Like Mama Bear would be, you know. Brick Mom View.
I'm pretty sure the cover had like a porcupine wearing a shirt and it was like all tattered up. It was like why animals shouldn't wear clothes.
Something like that,
I feel like there was a lot of this kind of stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That would be a great use of a very weird piece. Though.
Right,
yeah. I think the only way you could really use it in a mock would be like you were saying, it would be to just like hang it on a wall or something in like an upscaled sort of...
Like a mini land size.
Yeah, in a mini land size. Just hang it on the wall as a hat.
Yeah.
Now I want to make a golden UFO ship in the distance.
Right,
Microscale.
Maybe like the sun is, you know...
Or actually, a sun if you put it up on the wall. Yeah.
It's your Iron Builder seed part. Except you'd never be able to find enough of them.
That would destroy some people trying to build for that, Well, what's the next piece, Randy?
I'm gonna piggyback off of Mark's here.
Let's do it.
Because I have a Lurp.
Oh yes,
I have a Lurp.
The Lurp.
This beautiful yellow Lurp that was part of Belleville as well. Part of Desert Island. My Secret Island.
Oh,
because I don't know why it needed two names, but it did. My Secret Island and also Desert. Yeah.
Sounds like it
was Desert Island and then in parentheses. Yeah, My Secret Island. So that was that little guy. But it's weird to me. This is so rare. You think it would be a thing, but it's not. It's only in that one set. Yep. Made in 1998.
Wow. So one set is pretty rare.
1998, this guy's in there. Yeah. So I was
like... they don't really make those outside of earth tones. Yellow is not necessarily an earth tone. That's more of like a old traditional color. So it's really a interesting choice. So.
I want to make it like, if this made I feel like it would be on a mock of like the sun setting, and this could be like something off in the background to help brighten the colors as the sun's going down kind of situation.
I see that as like a pile of gold or a pile of hay
or
straw.
Yes, there you go. Yeah,
something like that. But it's because you don't think of a yellow mountain. I mean, I think they were trying to do like maybe a sand dune for a desert island, maybe. But
it's an odd thing in the if you look it up on Bricklink.
They made that in tan in the adventure set, which was what 98, 97.
This one's 98 too.
So same year. So why didn't they make the sand tan?
I don't. It's an odd. It's it's
for a
while it's a neat little guy though.
It's fun.
It has uses. Sure, plenty.
Do we know what kind of value that piece would be at? Or not super expensive?
It wasn't super expensive. I want to say a few bucks. It wasn't.
A couple dollars.
It wasn't super. It wasn't super crazy. But there weren't very many.
Yeah. If you can find one, you can get one.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. For your very own Belleville nostalgia of it all.
That is. Oh man, I could see Lego doing more wild colors for burps and just people going wild with it. But
right.
Well, for a while they did. I mean, we were getting burps in green and blue in a couple different sets. I don't remember what other colors Lurps came in that are crazy, but
that's got to be one of the weirdest.
Little yellow Lurp there.
I have noticed that the larger rare parts are typically not as expensive. I think because they don't get lost as easily, and people find them and they go, "Oh, this is weird. This is rare," and so there's more awareness of them. It's the very small stuff and the easily lost or broken stuff,
or misidentified, like
misidentified. Those are the really high value ones.
Interesting. All right. Well, burps aside, we can move on to some other things. Okay.
Excuse you.
And for those, just to reiterate, for those who know, burp is big ugly rock piece, and that's what a lurp is categorized under.
Right. Lego acronyms are the worst. You got burp, snot.
They got some gross sense of humor, potty humor at Lego HQ. We got to talk to them about that.
Achu, the minifigure.
Yep. Okay, so this is the one I was referring to earlier that I've actually picked up multiple times to throw away because it doesn't look Lego. You think, oh, this big ugly plastic piece came off of like a Fisher Price pirate
definitely
set.
Imagine X.
And then I always stop and look at this bar, and there's Lego inside that stud, which doesn't even look like a stud. Yeah. And it's Duplo. So this is Duplo. It bamboozled me multiple times, and I've kind of been frustrated with it, and so I decided, we can make something out of this. I also didn't realize this is glow in the dark.
That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got a picture.
I love glow in the dark pieces.
Yeah. So this, because when you're just in the room with it, it looks like it's kind of just an opaque white, but you don't even think, oh, that entire sail glows in the dark.
Right.
But this is actually two pieces. This is Duplo Boat sail, glow in the dark, is what it's called in Bricklink. Plus the boat rod. Yeah. It's not the mast, because that's the one that goes up and down.
Yeah.
It's the,
crossbar? I think there's got to be a name for that.
Right? Not lanyard, but it's something. Like it's got a nautical term. Somebody, Malistair, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, there you go.
If he's
Call him the experts.
Text Andy.
But weird piece. Only connects to Duplo elements.
It just doesn't come off of Lego, but it's so cool.
For more reference, 2006 from set number 7881, one set in this color. It also came in black. That was the non-glow-in-the-dark color it came in. I didn't even know this existed. Did you guys ever see this piece before this one turned up? Or
no. Yeah. I super like it, though.
It's neat.
You see the Duplo castle stuff fairly often, but not really Duplo pirates.
Yeah.
I think just 2006 wasn't a great year for Duplo, and they was like in and out, gone. You know, it's only worth like $5, and there's a couple on Bricklink. It's not a lot, but it's rare.
It's even got cool little like quilted, like where it's been sewn together, kind of in there. It's really
It's very 3D. It's very unusual. The only thing I can think of is a pirate use for this, but I would just put this on a normal pirate ship with skeletons and like zombies and put a black light on it because it shines under a black light. So that would look really cool, unlike most Lego sets. Yep. So. Yeah, I don't. You guys have anything at all this could be used rather than pirates?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yes. My first thought when I saw that would be the little boy from Toy Story, the ornery one. What's his name? Sid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sid, like his bedroom, and that's like his night or his like
his pillow headboard. Headboard. Yeah,
that's
amazing.
Kind of thing.
Really specific, Randy. Wow.
That was the first thing I thought of.
It looks like something Sid would have on his
wall.
Like
a cool headboard or something like that. That would be
the skull and swords. Yeah.
Like a Honorary Kids thing like that. Something like that.
Printed on there, right?
It is. That's printed. No stickers
on Duplo.
Yeah, really weird. I love that use though, right? It's very outside the box thinking. But I don't even know if maybe I'll buy this piece later just because it's just a couple bucks, especially this kind of beat up one. Before throwing it out again.
Yeah. Wait, are you gonna toss it in your bin?
I don't think so, but yeah, it's wild. I think it's probably the biggest glow in the dark piece that exists. I could be wrong, but I
love a glow in the dark piece.
I don't know if they have glow in the dark base plates. That's the only thing that could compete with that. So.
Wow.
What you got, Daniel?
Yeah. All right, let's go with this one here. This one's sort of unconventional because it's really more of a tool than a part. But this is the infamous green brick separator of the small variety with the axle. Now the old ones came mostly in green.
The big ones,
dark gray, the older, bigger ones, yes.
The ones that actually work.
And then the newer ones, well, these have more different functions. These can pry under tiles, which I think is the best thing that the old ones couldn't do. But this is part 96874. And this green one in particular came out in 2013 in 2 different sets. Do you all know which sets it came in? Some people will know one, but not the other.
I used to think that the color meant it came from a certain line of sets.
Right.
Is that not the case with this?
So orange obviously is the most common. Teal confused me for a long time. It seemed like they were doing either like ideas sets or kind of special sets. That the current consensus or belief is that it has to do with the color of other parts in the set. So like if there are orange or similar colored parts in the set, they will do the teal or turquoise one so that it stands out more. They want the tool to be not the same color as any parts in the set.
Interesting.
However, the reasoning for this being in one of these sets is for one reason, and being in the other set is for a different reason.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Absolutely not.
You don't even know what the sets are?
I've seen this.
Do you know either one of the sets?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So the first one this came in was they may have been the same year, I'm not sure. The Palace Cinema was the first one that this came in.
Okay.
And the reason it was in that one was because there was a movie poster on the Palace Cinema for like a big brick separator Godzilla monster basically destroying the town.
Yeah.
And they made it green because it was the classic color, but it looked like the new style. So I believe that's why they did this for that one.
Interesting. To fit with the poster alone.
Yes.
Wow.
The other set that it came in, which is seemingly more random, was the Horizon Express train. That's the orange one with the sort of arrows on the side. So my best guess for that one is because the train is mostly orange, and they didn't want to do the orange brick separator. And it may have been before they brought back turquoise as a color. I would have to double check that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they had not decided that was the second color that they were going to produce these brick separators in. If it had come back, it would have been very recent. So I think that's why they put the green one in there as well, so it would stand out from all those orange parts for the train body. Yeah. If you want to get one of these because you're a weirdo like me and you just think it's a novelty and you want to have all the different colors of brick separators, it'll run you about $5 to $10, which is not a lot for some of these other rare parts, but it's kind of stupid for a brick separator when we're basically
How many do you have, Daniel?
we're basically giving them away for free here in the
free
store.
with purchase at the counter.
Yeah.
So.
So this one's actually in pretty good shape. You know, some of them get mangled up on the edge because they're used, but this one's in pretty good shape. So yeah, $5 to $10.
That's
for
amazing.
A brick separator. But do you have any uses for this other than putting in a frame on your wall with your other brick separators?
So I've seen people make really nice mocks out of the orange brick separators.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's so many of them, you can actually have fun with them. You get a bunch of them, stack them up.
Lego Joey up at Lego.
Yeah, he does a lot of like really fun, interesting builds with this concept. But green, it actually blends in more than orange, so it's harder to kind of make something feature it. Because of the connection to the poster, I'd actually probably try and make a monster out of this and build some pieces around it. However, there's only a few connection points, and most of them are where the face of this creature should be, so it would be hard, but I don't know. Maybe wings or other things that you've seen the brick separator built for. But what do you think, Randy? Any uses there at all?
Immediately a tongue. Like a tongue to like an alligator or like a monster or something. Like it'd be a tongue.
Yeah.
I think the green tongue would be really cool coming out. Yeah, right? Yeah.
That's great.
Big teeth around it.
Yeah, and a very, that's where the connection point makes sense. That's great. So awesome. Man, Randy, you've had some of the best ideas for parts. I love it.
I like to use all the things. I do.
Randy.
I have them all, right?
Absolutely.
I have like a whole thing where I write ideas down and then I forget about it. Yeah.
You need to have a whole book of Randy's forgotten ideas.
Forgotten ideas. Here you go.
I'd read that.
Watch
That's
somebody.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
I love it.
What's the next
all
part?
Right. Okay, next. This one was fun because when I pulled it out, it was not in a Belleville box, but it was over with it. I thought it was a baby bib. But it's
a
not.
little baby bib.
But it's not. It's a little Belleville horse blanket.
Oh.
Because we were like, what in the world is happening here? But but it's a cute little horse blanket, and I love the color of it. And it's from let me see, I wrote it down here. There's two sets, 1994 and 1999. For being as old as it is and being cloth, it's in really good shape. And so we found it, and I just thought that's a cute little treasure. And I have not seen it before, so it was in the Royal Stables and the Prize Pony Stables. Little guy, but I just think it's such a great thing. And we did have one of the horses, but it sold pretty recently because I was going to put it on the horse. And I was like, but it's a great little saddle piece. I go, that would be a fun thing to have.
That is fun.
I feel like,
Yeah, I like the way that little belt can kind of tuck in
it
that
tucks
groove
in.
on the
Yeah,
side
there's a little
to sort
groove.
of attach it.
Yeah, so
it's a
you
nice
can
way to
adjust
do it without
it.
like having Velcro or something that would destroy
so
it over time.
Always work, And I go, and these pieces aren't super stretched out or ripped or anything. So
did you find this in a bin of pieces?
In a bin of pieces, It was. There was just a couple bins downstairs, and I was like looking through them, and then there was Belleville stuff underneath it, but it just got put in there, and I thought, hey, look at that. And then I really thought it was a baby bib, though, so that would be my second thing. You make a giant scary baby.
Yep, exactly. A Chucky situation.
And this would be its bib.
Oh,
why does it have to be a scary baby?
Because I like all the scary things.
Why
can't it just be like a Tyler Kleitz baby?
That wasn't scary.
Gosh, I'm not telling you said that.
No,
it's a scary baby.
I love anything Lego fabric, so that's really really fun to see. I love to collect Lego fabric pieces.
Yeah.
It's great.
So that one caught my eye, and I thought it was still in really good shape. Beautiful color. Yeah. I like the blue. So.
Yeah, what would I do with the blue?
What would you do with the blue?
I'd probably use it as a awning or a tent canopy, just because it's got enough volume there. But
it's just such a...
It's weird shape.
Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if you could do some sort of umbrella or almost round kind of, I don't know.
Almost,
an
not
old
quite.
Visor.
Yeah, visor, yeah.
Oh, like a big hat.
Yeah, right?
It's so floppy, though.
It's kind of floppy, yeah.
Hey, they have floppy.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow, that's fun, Randy, and a very unusual shape. And
I like
it's not. You already mentioned the price is not super expensive on that one.
Yeah, it wasn't super
expensive.
No,
these
were
all $3, right?
I got it.
Because
they can be kind of bunched up. I was on the right path with the cone thing, like a tree skirt or something.
Oh, there you go.
Tree skirts or cloth and kind of wrap around. You could do a blue tree skirt.
That would actually be really, that would be good.
Did that come in any other colors?
It came in pink as well.
Also not really a Christmas color.
The pink was more common, but yeah, I like the blue.
Yeah, that's cool.
The blue was less common.
Fun part, Randy. I think that's our only fabric one we have today too, so that's interesting. So.
Molded fabric.
Yeah, this is very plastic. Oh, it's supposed to be.
Well, I was starting to wonder about like the physics going on here. If this is cloth, there's like rips going down, but the parts are still sticking up. They know.
Yeah.
Can't overthink it.
Yeah. You're definitely overthinking it.
It's Duplo. You can't overthink it. Yeah.
Actually, the whole physics of sailing is very weird. We're not going to go there.
Oh God! Don't start on the direction that the flag.
Should the flag get going this way or that way?
Oh no!
All right. I'll start with my next one here. So this is the most expensive piece or pieces that I have to talk about today. But this is the...
Are we supposed to save those for last, Mark?
No, I got some weird ones.
All right, okay.
These are the Wedge 12 by 13, right and left. And these are in chrome. And I love chrome pieces.
That's so fun, yeah.
Because they only made them for a short period of time. They're very easy to damage and scratch and break. And when you find a chrome piece in okay condition like these, it's always just like a real treasure. It's fun. You guys, I think Daniel knows where these are from. Randy, do you have any clue where these are from?
No, I don't know what those are from. Where are they
from? They're from the Naboo Starfighter.
Oh, yeah.
Let me read that again. Oh, no, I don't have it. The UCS Naboo Starfighter.
Right, okay.
And that was
makes sense.
2002, one set where these came in. And they're just probably some of the biggest chromed pieces that they ever made. Yeah, please. Yeah. Really cool. Oh. And they also would have had stickers up there. Exactly. They're mirror quality chrome there. And they also would have had stickers applied to them, which could easily damage them.
Yeah.
So to find the stickers, I'm guessing removed or never applied is kind of special, I think. Because they almost always had the stickers stuck on. And to find these in good condition, you're looking at around $50 each. Wow. So that's what these are probably going for. Because I mean, there's a couple little nicks and scratches. Even you can see a fingerprint clearly on these things.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're in this good shape is really
condition
fun.
is everything.
Yeah.
A beat up one could run you about 15 or 20, but these I think we could sell for nearly new. So. Super cool piece. And I had a couple ideas for builds, but I want to hear what you guys would do with chrome wedge pieces like this. What would you do for a creation?
Randy, you go first.
I immediately thought of like fangs or something, like a spider or something like that even, or like elf ears. Like make like something with it.
What was the James Bond villain with the metal teeth?
Jaws.
Yeah.
Or was that one of those?
His name was Richard Keel. I knew him when I was a little kid. I have pictures with him.
What?
Did he actually have metal teeth, or was that? There's also a Mandela effect thing or something.
He did have all metal teeth because he bit through that cable in Moonraker. Yeah, he lived down the street from us.
There's something about that movie where it's like the woman at the end or something. Everybody thinks that she smiled and had metal teeth, and it's like just not true at all.
No, she had like braces. I thought she had like. I'm pretty sure she had braces.
Anyway, we're way off track.
From like the 80s braces. Yeah.
Metal teeth is a great idea. What do you think, Daniel? What would you do from?
I mean, if I had an unlimited budget, I would just buy a bunch of these and try and make other Naboo ships. I think because there's that iconic like chrome silver ship line is something that Legos still kind of refuse to do. I'm still holding out that they'll do a metallic silver one eventually, but
Daniel, there are custom companies that chrome Lego pieces.
Oh yeah,
you could break the bank really easily.
Yeah. Those are also just about as expensive.
So I'm still on the Rock Raiders mindset, and I think that some chrome crystals with some small chrome crystals around would look cool, and you could have a couple of these making big kind of chrome sections inside the rocks would be really cool. So, But I wish
what
Lego
mineral would that be?
Platinum?
Is it chromium?
Maybe, yeah, chromium, yeah. Actual
is chromium actual chrome?
Now we're getting into some real science stuff. But yeah, I think Lego...
That's a geology joke.
Yeah, geology joke.
We're tapping into all of our experts. Yes. Pirates, geology,
and I think
Morgan's general trivia.
Star Wars and
Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, no, any day Lego wants to bring back Chrome, I will be there buying the set. I think it'll be...
You still see all kinds of other toy companies producing things in Chrome. It's just a shame that Lego's decided it's not worth it.
It's because the durability. The fact that these are not too beat up is rare, because even if you put them in a bin and you don't abuse them, they just kind of being with other Lego pieces will damage them. It's crazy. So. Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah, some great ideas, some fun concepts to explore. If you had $50 a pop for those and just had a whole stack of them, it'd be great. So, yeah, Daniel, what's your next piece you want to talk about?
I'm going to do a twofer.
Twofer.
We'll do these together because they both appeared in one set and it was the same set. So this is the green wheel hard plastic medium size, which the medium size of these hard plastic wheels is already not super common. You see the small ones and then the much larger ones fairly often. The medium's kind of strange. And then I actually forgot to write down the name of this, but it's probably something like 6 by 8 wedge lattice or something like that, also in green. So again, this only appeared in one set, and that was the Citron. No, they never made that. No, it was the Hydro. It was the Hydro Reef Wrecker from Aqua Raiders 1, which again, in and of itself, is a very obscure theme. There was only 3 sets in the whole theme, and that was it.
That's pretty well.
It was Aqua Raiders 1. So the wheel is part 2593. And it first appeared in 1990, but in green for this was 1997, so a fair bit later. And if you want one of these, they're only about $1 to $3, but it's an unusual part in an unusual color.
Yeah, and very rare. We don't see those that often in the store, so it's a really cool color. So
absolutely.
As far as like mock building, that round piece is like giving me like a topiary tree vibe. Just put that on some brown pieces and you could have some fun with that.
I like that.
Get a couple of those lined up, it'd be pretty fun. This guy's pretty structural. Anything spaceship or new Hashima or building wise.
I love anything with lattice.
Maybe even a Christmas tree if you get really decorated.
That's abstract.
It's a stretch, but yeah. What do you think, Randy? I'm still thinking trees because it's green.
Yeah. I want that to be like put some wheels on it and make like a custom little travel trailer, or something to pull on the back of it, or have a fun scene on the back of it to go with it.
It does look like sort of the
put something fun.
The tongue or the fork.
Yeah, the front of a trailer. Yeah.
Put some wheels on it, and pull it along with your cute little car or something.
I like that. That's
something
good.
in there.
What is nice about this lattice is it's the kind that you can actually stick studs inside of, so that gives you some extra attachment points there. You can also fit a 2x4 plate down in that whole recess there. As for the wheel, though, I like your topiary idea. That's very unconventional. What I was going to say was just most of the typical uses for these. Obviously is a wheel, but also it's like an engine
thruster
on a spaceship, a big thruster or something. So in green, you could do like a Space Police 1 or an Octan themed ship would be pretty cool.
That'd be rad.
That, so very interesting
I
stuff.
want to turn it this way and make it with like flowers coming out.
Like a bucket.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even like a waste bin because it's green.
Right? All your recyclables in there.
It has like a dozen uses for that tire. That's great.
That's a good one.
Very cool. That one has NPU out the wazoo. All right.
Very affordable.
Moving on. Randy, what have we got?
All right. Grab your torch and pitchforks. Look at this pitchfork. I am in love with this pitchfork.
Get your pitchfork, babe.
I love it. This is Scala.
Okay.
Right?
I was about to say, that's big for even Belleville.
I know, right? So this is a Scala one. It's pitchfork. It was at there's 2 different stables, Indy stable and the horse stable. It was only in those 2 sets. One from 99 and one from 01. And it's just a few dollars, but I love this. And then we did our scariest video, and I was there for that scarecrow, and I'm like, can you imagine that scarecrow holding this?
Yes.
Like 3 giant
pitchfork.
I want that. I want just like a bunch of scarecrows carrying these around, just like an army of them.
Swooping down. Oh my goodness. Right? That'd be awful.
Yep. But I was looking it up, and it's rust color, and Daniel was helping explain to me the red and the rust. I don't know if Daniel wants to...
rust is a very contentious topic. Some things are listed... So rust really refers to parts that were intended to come in red, but back then in this specific type of plastic, it was just this weirder, darker shade. So on Bricklink, some parts will be listed as rust, some will be listed as red, some will have a note in the description. There were like some various Technic parts that were made out of that kind of plastic that are like rusts. It's like the engine piston heads. I think there's also a worm gear that came in rust, but it's
definitely a rust color.
Kind of a mess right now.
But it comes up as red.
The way that things are categorized.
They can't make up their minds, but I recognize that as a weird color, and I thought it might be rust, and that's exciting for me because I didn't know the controversy background context. But, that's really cool. I know of at least one or two other pieces that kind of slightly flexible. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's got some good flex to it. Yeah.
I bet they'd break it.
The handle's pretty. Yeah, the handle's pretty stiff, but these ones have a little.
They're trying not to have kids poke their eyes out. I doubt they would make this.
I feel like this wouldn't be a thing today, but
that's going right now.
Yeah, but I just thought that was so cool. I love it. Cool. And then I just thought of my little scarecrow that I was fighting for in the scariest.
He got farther than we expected. He did get far, We'll have to put up a little link to click and watch
I want him to have that giant pitchfork.
Now, what I think of when I see this, and I may have to buy this to do this, is a recreation of the painting American Gothic. With the farmer and his wife, and he's got this is like the exact right kind of pitchfork for that, with the really long, thin, curved tines. So. That's what I may have to do with that.
I can't think of a non-pitchfork use for this, but one thing I would do is I would have an alien with a pitchfork, and he'd be like farming little space alien creatures, or maybe even little Lego minifigures walking around in like a chicken coop. Just something weird and dark with this. I love it. It's so bizarre looking that it would.
I like that one a lot.
You could do a little devil too.
Yep, and he was just a few dollars too. Wasn't very expensive at all, but there weren't very many. So
rare, you're not going to find it, but it's only a few dollars if you do. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the kind of stuff that always gets thrown out.
Well, I love that stuff that it's like it's not discovered yet.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we do these videos, because most people that watch these won't ever see.
I would think this would probably get tossed as not Lego a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it say Lego on it?
It does. It does. I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Oh yeah, there's a little flat spot
right there.
A
little flat spot on the back has the number. It says Lego.
Not that everyone's going to stop and look.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Amazing, Randy. That's cool.
Just an action figure accessory.
Yeah.
We couldn't think of a non-pitchfork use for it. But I think that is so specific.
It's great. It's pretty specific. Yeah.
This one is pretty specific, but I think we can think of a few things. This is going to be the monkey tail curled, and this came in, I think, one set. On Bricklink, it's two, but the other one is Duplo, and in every picture, there's no showing of this piece in it. So I think it was mislisted. I could be wrong. Somebody with more Bricklink knowledge can fill us in on that if that's the case. 2003, came in a creator set. It was a decorative piece in the back of a little mechanized monkey that goes down a string. So a weird set, and it's huge. It has a Duplo connection. It came in a system set. Like, for example...
Now, that's interesting, because how did they...
Duplo stud, Duplo connection. Fits
how did they make that connection? Because the 1x1 Duplo stud... I don't think you can... You can attach Duplo bricks and Lego bricks together, but I didn't think you could do a stud connection to anything.
I know you can put a 1x1 brick and it just kind of fits in there. It's not a legal connection, but it does work that way. Yeah. I don't think they would have done that for a system set in 2003, because they didn't do illegal stuff.
I'll have to look at the inventory for the set, because maybe there was another Duplo part that they had to attach that to then.
It's rubber, too, so you could kind of wedge stuff in there or have it hold things. It's a really weird piece. I love it. I have
cool.
I've seen pictures of this piece. I've never had it in my hand, and it's just bigger than I expected and weird, and it's cool.
Where did you find it?
It was in our parts bin. I think either Daniel or somebody else knew to throw it in there because it's weird.
I think I grabbed it for you because I thought it was Zooters, and it was right after you went through your little Zooters kick.
So this is slightly bigger than the Zooters one, I believe. Yeah. Because the Zooters curled tail is just like maybe 2/3 the size.
Yeah, and I think it just goes straight up and looks maybe more like the whip piece.
This is more like a question mark. It's interesting. So I think this is awesome. It's only $10 or $20 for this piece, which is not...
that's pretty steep.
Not cheap. They are like not super rare. There's a couple for sale on Bricklink right now. It's not as rare as like some of the Scala and Belleville stuff we've talked about, but it's weird. What would you do with this piece?
Oh, now that you stuck it on there, all I thought is get two of them, and if you're doing a room, make it a curtain.
Yeah.
Like a curtain rod with that. Like a decorative curtain rod. As soon as you put on that, that's what I thought of. Oh, like a curtain rod.
I'm thinking like a wrought iron gate detail topper, so you have like a big scale, like a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird piece. What do you think, Daniel?
I did kind of picture Nightmare Before Christmas at first, but the angle's not really quite right. So I could see doing... some sort of like dreams or nightmare thing.
Yeah.
Nightmare King.
Some, like, tentacles and tendrils kind of coming up, or maybe grabbing somebody and plunging them.
You can easily fit a minifig in there because it's rubber and have it hold it. So
maybe even like a kraken tentacle grabbing a pirate ship or something. It looks very spooky and wispy.
Looks alive.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
Definitely a weird piece that we'll probably never see the likes of again.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, there's a tiny, like, small one that came in the Dreams set. It's like a little, it fits in a minifigure's hand, and it just has a curl on, like the whip, but it's a piece,
Oh, I don't know if I've seen that.
So that's a newer piece, kind of used in plant stuff, but this is like a giant version. I don't think we'll see this again, so... Interesting. All right. Well, we're on our second to last pieces here, Daniel. What do you got?
Yeah. All right. Let's go with this one. This is the blue trailer base 4x8. This is, I'm going to say, our only 3-digit part number today. This is part 817.
Whoa. Okay.
So it originally appeared in 1975 with red wheels on the edge. The white wheels didn't appear till 1988, so kind of a long, strange gap between the two. Those first ones were kind of all clustered together and then made a comeback in 88. What's dangerous about this one is because of, it looks kind of yellowed on the top, which means it's probably the brittle blue, so I'm trying to be pretty gentle with this one. You don't really want to be flexing it or probably even sticking that ball joint into anything. But originally in 1975, this came in 4 Legoland branded sets, and then when it came back in 88, it was in 2 Classic Town sets, sort of like a motor speedway thing. It's just as a car trailer for some of those early kind of, I guess you'd call them like Formula One style
Go-kart,
cars, like the Lego Island racers is kind of what I'm talking about. So not insanely expensive. If you want to get one, it'd be about $5 or $6. But I would be interested to hear what else you could do with this one, because it's pretty specific to what it is.
That is a complete trailer in one piece. So Lego even nowadays doesn't get that kind of juniorized, but it has a nice little guard for the front wheel of the car it's supposed to transport. It's pretty small, only 4 wide. What would I do with this? I don't know. Other than like a vehicle because of the wheels, I don't think you could get too far from it. But maybe like airport luggage trolley that would pull behind that little thing. So it's like you could use it for other vehicles, but I don't know. It's interesting you note the brittle blue because of that yellowing. It feels like that smooth, glossy plastic too. So definitely want to be gingerly when you handle that. But
I'm scared to touch it.
You should be good.
I'm gonna make like a little like parade car.
Oh,
and then you got that cute little Friends Dachshund with the wheels that can just come right up the back and go for a ride. It's got a ramp.
The wheelie dog. Yeah,
I love the wheelie dog with it. Yeah.
So
I just feel like
you have a perfect use for the trailer.
It's got a ramp, and I happen to be processing some of those today, so it's fresh in my head.
That's timely,
The little weenie dog could wheel right up there and go for a ride and wave to all the people.
Now, I can see Lego coming back out with a kind of trailer piece similar to this in junior sets in the future.
Yeah.
But not like this scale or color combo, I don't think. So, pretty interesting.
I think one of the only ways I could use this in something to try and conceal its original purpose would be probably in something architectural, like just build it into the side of a wall or something.
Yeah.
And then you would kind of cover up some of the more indicating parts, like the toe bowl joint, and try and cover the wheels. But like if you saw some of these parts sticking out of a wall, it would make you go like, oh, what is that? What is that part?
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy, is when you see some of those strange things and it's like, that's clearly to a really specific part, but you've concealed what its purpose was.
Greebling,
So
one final use for that, you have if this was not the brittle one and we felt like experimenting, this is a mixel joint size. You could have this be the big hands for a robot or something. It'd be pretty weird looking.
Scoop it in.
It's fun they've returned to that scale of ball joint.
I'm trying to remember, because with trailers like these, they would undersize one of the parts so that they would be loose. And I'm trying to remember if they made the ball slightly smaller or the receptacle slightly larger so that it would be loose.
I think the balls are the same size.
So theoretically, if you did it with a mixel joint, it would be a tight connection and not
I believe so, but we don't want to test that.
Probably not.
Yeah.
All right, Randy, second last piece. What do we got?
Okay. I have this amazing roof piece that I love.
Yes.
Right? Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, it looks sick. It should go on something spooky." And it does. It goes on the Arkham Asylum.
Nice.
Right? And this is only in that one set from 2006.
Another good wacky.
The very first Arkham Asylum, yeah.
Right, the very first one, the better of the... Oh, yeah.
I think I remember grabbing this and setting it aside because somebody had found it in the store one day, and they were, you know, kind of trivia quizzing people around the store to see if they knew what it came in, and I don't think I got it first off. I don't think I knew what it came from.
I've seen that piece before. It's more common in sand green, black, and even trans dark pink, which I have a couple of. But I've never seen it in gray.
Was there a glitter one too?
Yeah, there's a glitter version. I think that's what the pink one is.
Yeah, it was on one of the Princess Castles.
Oh yeah, the Belleville, of course.
Belleville,
that is a more common Belleville piece, but this in this usage is really rare and probably very expensive for that set. So.
And I don't remember what the cost was.
I'm guessing it's more than $5 or $10.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, you want to look it up real quick? I have the part number.
Yeah.
But my not using it in some other way, immediately if I turn it like this, it's an animal.
Yep, it is. It looks lizard-like.
And seeing it just needs the green tongue. See, we're set.
Now we're talking.
And it can have a bonnet. Look at it.
That is a mock.
Done.
Right
with
there.
With the pitchfork. Oh, sorry. It's 33215.
That's amazing. I love that combination of pieces.
Just put it together.
Maybe
there we go.
Eyes,
look, the pink one's on there,
Oh, look, and here we can get all the colors, too. Black, dark purple, light bluish gray, magenta, sand green, trans light blue, glitter trans dark pink, and glitter trans purple.
Oh.
Ooh, trans purple's cool.
The light bluish gray, if you want to buy one right now. New conditions is about $25.
Wow.
Used is about 10-ish.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like a little piece, but it's great. It's a great piece.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great texture.
It's a nice color for
it.
Great
what would you guys
points.
use? Not for a rooftop.
Oh, okay. I have a use.
Okay.
So a lot of medieval fortifications have a steeply sloped moat area.
Yep.
And you could use this for the front of a tower base.
Oh, there you go.
I'm thinking on the base instead of the top. Because it's used as a roof.
Right.
But if you put it on the bottom, it's actually a sloped stone.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Again, architectural, but yeah. So.
I'm gonna say front of a spaceship because it's light bluish gray. I'm picturing did like the Firefly spaceship have sort of a
Serenity?
pointed?
Yeah, it kind of looked like a waspy kind of look.
Yeah, the little things pointing out are maybe not great, but something like that with a pointed nose kind of front of it.
Well, turn it on its side and get two of them, and you could easily have that and then have a windshield right there. And that would
be really cool.
Something like that.
Yep.
Just because of the aerodynamic shape. Yeah. Very cool. Well, yeah.
Yep.
Great piece, Randy, and such a weird, rare color. So
right.
One set. Right. Yeah. Wow.
All right, final round.
What you got?
Last piece. I saved my smallest and most easily lost for last. These are the Belleville Clothes Ice Skates.
Oh.
And they're from a couple different sets, but I've never seen these pieces in person before. They're pearl very light gray.
Oh my
goodness.
Very,
very rare color.
What else even came in pearl very light?
Not much. Right? I didn't stop to look, but it's got to be less than a dozen pieces that have that color combo. It's very shiny, very weird. And they were definitely made for Belleville figures. You got two studs, not one, like the modern roller skates or
even the ski pieces like they used in Ice Planet. Yeah.
So they came in 3 different sets, ranging from I think the pearl very light gray only came out in 2002. It actually came out in just regular pearl light gray a couple years later in 2005 and 2007. So, weird piece.
Wow.
Not super expensive. Only, I would say, $3 to $5 a piece. If you can find them. Because they're maybe 1 or 2 on Bricklink. You know, it's really rare. So, and I don't really know what I would use these for because they're so small. But I'd love to hear if you guys have any kind of zany ideas that we've been coming up with. So.
Well, so small parts for me immediately go to micro-scale building. So I have a couple things I think you could use this for. One would be like a little, you put like a brown tile on the back of that or something, and it's a little toboggan for sledding. You could do a
mini-scale toboggan.
Sledding skin, which is not far off from ice skates. A more unconventional use, I think if you built it into a building this way, it could be like a cathedral door or window or something. I could see like... Rocco Boutlier, the microscale builder, using something like this for a microscale builder.
Get a couple of them, line them together,
The fact that it curves away, you would kind of have to work around that, but I think it's got that kind of pointed cathedral look to it.
That's fun. What do you think, Randy? Would you use them as something skeety?
Werewolf ears.
Oh, like I like that use a lot.
Some sort of little, because they curve out too.
Yeah, because they're really glittery and
because they're glittery.
Werewolves are glittery, right?
Vampires glitter.
Oh, sorry.
You'll
Don't
learn
vampires
soon.
sometimes have pointed ears too, though?
Yes,
You could
Bela Lugosi.
You could do elf ears.
Yeah, some sort of little. I just see they just give me the ear vibe.
I like the ear usage. Yeah. Maybe like a little robot with pointed ears. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and that's such a weird color though. You'd be lucky to find another piece to match it.
You could do like cat ears or something on a person. If you built the stud part down into the head and just had the 2 pointed parts sticking out.
Very cool. And
those are cool.
The studs are also got a square interior, which is very unusual. So I don't know if a bar would actually fit in there, but it's interesting. So got a kind of a diamond pattern for the inside.
It's very squared off. I mean, sometimes in studs and hollow studs, you'll see it'll be kind of like an octagon shape, but this really is almost square.
Interesting.
Kind of peculiar.
Anyway, that's my final piece. What do you have for your last piece to present here, Daniel?
I saved my most expensive for last.
Oh, my.
So this is the Boat 18 by 8 by 3 1/3. So this is one size up from the kind of standard rowboat size. This one came in a handful of different colors. I think there was at least white, yellow, maybe some old outdated pink colors.
I was gonna say, I think there was a pink.
The brown one is probably the most useful, but also one of the most expensive because it appeared in the Adventurers Amazon Ancient Ruins, which was the biggest Adventurers set. I think there was also one maybe in the set smaller, the one size down from that. That might have been the black one, I think, or even light gray. Was it a River Expedition one?
Yes.
I think it was light gray. Anyway, so this is part 33129. In this set, it came out in 1999. It might have been out a little bit earlier in some Belleville sets. I know the white one was in the same set as this yellow rock piece. But if you want to get the brown one, it's going to run you about $20 to $30 because it's one of the most important parts for that adventure set, which I think is why most people are after it. But... okay, what else are you going to use that for?
All right.
I got mine. Go.
You got one?
I got one.
Okay. So I've seen boat hulls used in creative ways in kind of like fantasy Viking architecture. I could see if you get more than one, you see that kind of roof starting to happen.
Yeah.
You can have them go downwards to create like an angled piece, have a couple, like maybe like a Viking church, things like that. But that you're not getting a lot of interior use with that kind of shape, so it's kind of interesting. But other than that, boat, maybe get 2 of them and combine them with that nice little middle bridge area. So that's
fun.
Do
a long ship,
Easy to make a larger boat with 2 of these versus the smaller size. But it's pretty specifically boat with the no connection on the bottom too. So
with the oarlocks and there's a ball joint for like a mast, which is kind of interesting.
Flexible.
Cool.
That's probably more Belleville connection there. So what do you got, Randy?
Okay, I would still use it as a boat, but I'm thinking like in a like an old seaside restaurant or something, and have like little vines or something kind of coming down, have it hanging from the roof.
Yeah,
you know,
like
and
an
kind of old fishing pole. Yeah, like an old some sort of like a restaurant or store, just some sort of use it more as a decor, but just kind of like as an old boat hanging
as a photo op.
Yeah, something like that, cool, hanging down from the top.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sort of similar to what you mentioned, like with Vikings. I had seen some people use the smaller boat. Again, up on end in some Rivendell mocks, like on the tower. So you could do sort of a bigger, upscale version of that with this.
Exactly.
A little more.
There's a couple things, but not too many. I think this is almost as limiting as like the Pitchforks.
Right.
But good piece though, Daniel, and also very expensive.
Right.
Yeah, a little pricey. This one's real beat up, but if somebody had a used copy of that set and was missing it,
see if you're using it as an old beat up boat in the restaurant though, or
that makes total sense in that kind of context. So.
Yep.
Well, what do we got, Randy?
So mine I got from watching the Joy of Building a few weeks ago. They did the Shrieking Shack, which I didn't know what that was. I know it's Harry Potter. Still don't know the context of it, but I still think it's super. It's gonna happen.
We'll circle back to Harry Potter.
But I love that it has. I forgot to bring little minifigures that they
you can
switch.
Stick anything in there.
Yeah. You can. A minifigure works the best.
Yeah.
You
can put something
in there.
There we go.
There are minifigures over there if you want to grab one.
Right.
And then here.
Then do you put it in?
Do the magic trick, Randy.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. We're gonna make Mark.
We're gonna turn Mark into a hyperdrive engine.
And voila.
Oh.
Wait. And voila.
Yeah,
yay.
The fact that it like sucks up a minifig, just
Right?
gone. That's so much fun.
The sound, it makes it so satisfying.
But I was watching the Joy Building, not being a Harry Potter aficionado, still appreciated how cool this was. And then I thought, man, that'd be cool to do in all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do other than use it for the purpose that it's in.
Yeah.
But
It's a magic trick.
working into some sort of spooky village or whatever, where if you act up, they put you in, and then you come out as something else.
As a gargoyle.
Or they tell the little kids, we'll make you disappear, you know? Kind of situation.
That's cool. And it works really well,
It
too,
does.
for what it is.
Yeah, well, obviously this has been played with a lot. It still has a very good spring in there. Seems like it works fine. So,
and it's an interesting
I
big
love that guy.
square brown piece with texture.
Yeah, and that's why they never used it for anything else, because it's very specific. It's like got the windows with like the boards across them, which was kind of reflective of what was going on the Shrieking Shack build.
Yeah.
It's got those Lego lattice windows. All right, Mark, you go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I would try to use this mechanism in like a more built-in context. So I like the fact that it's switching a minifigure, but I would have it be like an elevator or like something that folds down. Like you pull a book on a bookcase and something goes choom, and then it swaps them. Almost like the entrance to the Batcave.
Cool.
That's how I would use it.
I like that.
It is probably a very complex process to try and have this move or function with the... I would try to automate that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's even possible, but I know some people who could do it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Daniel?
So I've seen for a while now at various Lego conventions, there's always, or usually a section called like Automatown that's like a lot of, mechanized things. And one that's been around for a while is there's one where it's a magician and he lowers like a hat or a cup or something over the table and the item under the hat swaps. It goes from like a rabbit to something to... nothing being there, a flower, something else. So I think kind of an interesting sequel to that, because that's done by swapping the items under the table, could maybe be building this into a giant like black magic top hat or something, and then using probably a lot of Mindstorm's pieces again, kind of like you were saying, to raise and lower it. But if you do that, you could have the table be smooth, like a totally flat surface with nothing underneath. So, a lot of magic tricks is just redirecting where you're hiding something. So if people go, oh, well, I know how that trick is done. It's the thing goes under the table. Now build the trick so that they can't see that there's anything going on under the table. So
that's fun.
That could be kind of an interesting sequel to that.
Yeah.
A great piece, though, Randy. And
playability of this is great.
Yeah, it's fun to play with for kids. Yeah. And did that only come in one set?
It came. Oh yes, it came in the one set, just the Shrieking Shack.
Nice.
Lego was crazy back then.
What was
They
the
make a
value?
huge.
I forgot to write the value down. This one was the most expensive, though.
Wow.
I think of all of mine.
Let's find out.
Thank you.
We always like to see who has the most expensive.
Most
I have the part number here for you.
On here.
I think mine is 50 with one of these
4831.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh wait, yeah, your Chrome
50.
pieces.
It could be more than that. We'll find out.
Let's see.
Or close.
This one's probably not going to be a lot because it's pretty big.
Okay.
New 10 to 15.
10 to 15.
Used
Okay.
6 or 7.
Okay.
And,
Not bad, but
so your wedge plates,
yeah,
I think,
wedge
have
plates,
a speed.
I think we got
rightfully
it. Okay.
so. Rightfully
Now we
so.
also usually put a disclaimer in these videos.
Yeah.
If you have these parts and you try to sell them to us, this is not a guarantee that this is the amount of money that we would offer to buy them off of you, because there's not much that we can do with very specific parts. However, if you like any of the parts that you see today, you can always send us an email if you're interested in buying any of them.
We can try and track them down.
We could get you hooked up with one of these if you're looking to buy it, and Mark doesn't already after the end of this video.
Right.
A couple of these, I think the Monkey Tail's first to go.
Yeah, that's going home with Mark.
Yeah, but this was a fun video, and I like the added twist of like thinking of other ways to use the pieces besides their very specific uses. So, thank you guys for your knowledge, bringing up the parts, and your ideas too, which I will steal a few of.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And then thank you guys for watching this entire video. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We got plenty more videos coming out every single week.
That's right.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.